Today, we are wrestling with a machine that really seems to be challenging the physics of indoor air.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the KNKA APH4000 HEPA air purifier. And this thing is getting a lot of buzz and, frankly, a lot of skepticism because it claims to be the one-stop solution for these huge, modern, open-plan living spaces. We're talking up to 3,500 square feet.
And that number, that 3,500 square feet, that is the entire reason we need to do this deep dive.
Right.
Our mission today is to take KNK's blueprint,
Yeah.
its physical design, its filter setup, its performance claims, and really measure it against the hard science of air filtration.
To see if it's marketing genius or actual engineering reality.
Exactly.
And for you, the listener, what we really need to figure out is, if you have that massive combined living room and kitchen, is this the one unit that can do it all?
Or are you better off with, say, multiple smaller machines?
Yeah.
We're looking for that sweet spot. Who is this machine actually for? And what are the critical sacrifices you might be making when you go for sheer size and a competitive price?
Okay, so let's unpack this, starting with that core promise and what exactly is under the hood. It's pretty clear this isn't designed for a cozy bedroom.
No, not at all. This is a workhorse for huge rooms. And its design really reflects that ambition to move just a massive amount of air.
Okay.
What's fascinating here is the flow architecture. It uses this dual intake system. It pulls air in from the front and the back at the same time.
Oh, interesting.
And then it pushes the clean air out through dual outlets on the sides.
This sounds very intentional. How does that dual approach actually help? I mean, compared to a standard tower that just sucks air from the bottom and blows it out the top.
For a huge open space, circulation is everything. It's the whole game.
Right.
If you just have one powerful jet of air, you can create what we call a short circuit. The air right next to the machine gets super clean, but the corners of the room are basically untouched.
You get dead zones.
You get dead zones. This dual flow design, by pulling from opposite directions and then pushing air out sideways, is meant to generate strong, room-wide turbulence. It's trying to get the whole volume of air moving.
So it's not just about the volume of air it processes, but the way it moves that air around a giant space.
Precisely.
So let's talk about what that air actually moves through. It's
Got
a 3-stage filtration system, right?
Right. And it starts with layer 1, which is a simple but vital washable pre-filter.
Okay, so this is for the big stuff.
The really big stuff. Pet fur, lint, visible dust. It's basically the gatekeeper, and its job is to protect the much more sensitive and expensive layer that comes next.
Which is the true HEPA filter. This is really the heart of any air purifier, isn't it?
It is. This is the workhorse against the real health threats. This layer is trapping the fine particulate matter, anything 0.3 micrometers and larger.
So we're talking about common dust, pollen, pet dander.
And critically, the dangerous PM 2.5 particles from smoke and pollution. If you have allergies or you live near a busy road, this is the layer you're really paying for.
And then there's layer 3, the activated carbon filter. This one handles the chemical side of things.
Yeah, this targets gases and odors, things like smoke smells, cooking odors, and the VOCs, volatile organic compounds.
And VOCs, I mean, we should probably connect that to things people actually have in their homes.
Oh, absolutely. They aren't just some vague smell. VOCs are constantly off-gassing from new furniture, from carpets, paint, even cleaning supplies. The carbon filter doesn't filter them like a net. It absorbs them. The gas molecules literally stick to the carbon's surface.
A totally different mechanism.
Completely different.
And beyond that core filtration, it's got some smart features. It's AHAM verified, which is a good sign. It has an air quality display.
In modes like eco and a dedicated pet mode. On paper, on the features checklist, they score very high. They seem to get what a modern home needs.
Okay, but this is where it gets really interesting for me. Features on a box are one thing. Air quality science demands hard proof. So how do experts evaluate any big air purifier? What are the non-negotiables?
When we see a claim like 3,500 square feet, we momentarily ignore it. We look at 4 crucial factors based on physics. Number 1 is the room size to CADR ratio.
CADR, the clean air delivery rate. That's the metric. And it's always the most frustrating number to find.
It is. But it's the gold standard for a reason. CADR doesn't just tell you how good the filter is. It tells you the volume of clean air being delivered back into the room every minute.
So you could have the world's best filter.
But if the fan is tiny, like trying to blow out a candle, your CADR is low. The clean air delivery is just inadequate for the room size. The fan has to be powerful enough.
So the filter is the quality of the cleaning, and CADR is the quantity and speed of the delivery.
Exactly. If one is weak, the whole coverage claim just falls apart.
Okay, what's number 2?
The second factor is the comprehensive filter stack, which we've covered. The KNKA meets this with the HEPA, carbon, and pre-filter. That's the baseline defense you need.
And factor 3 is about speed, sufficient air changes per hour, or ACH. Why is that so critical for a huge open space?
Well, think about a big dynamic room. Maybe you're cooking and you suddenly generate smoke.
Right.
If you're only getting 1 air change per hour, it takes a whole hour for the machine to process that room's air just once. That's way too slow. You need high ACH, ideally 4 or 5, to quickly react to new pollutants.
So with low ACH, you're always just playing catch-up.
Always. You need that high turnover for real-time improvement. And finally, number 4, the boring but essential truth. Consistent maintenance.
You can have the best tech in the world, but if you don't clean that pre-filter and replace the main filters, it's all useless.
It grinds to a halt. A clogged filter means less airflow, which means your CADR and ACH just plummets. It's a major commitment.
Okay, so now that we have the baseline, high CADR, good filters, high ACH, and maintenance, let's look at where the APH 4000 actually shines, based on what we've seen.
We found 3 pretty significant strengths. First is its expansive coverage suitability. I mean, even if we're skeptical of the 3500 number, it is genuinely targeting that huge open plan home market where smaller units just fail.
Right. This is for people who know a normal purifier won't cut it.
Exactly. Second is the targeted relief from that filter stack. For people with pets or allergies, the HEPA and carbon combo is incredibly useful. User feedback consistently mentions how well it reduces pet dander and odors. That's a huge win in a large space.
Yeah, that's a big deal for a lot of people.
And that airflow design we talked about, the dual intake and outlets, that's not just marketing fluff. It really does help with room-wide circulation physics.
And the final strength seems to be cost. The sources all highlight its cost efficiency.
The value proposition is very strong, yes. It's giving you these massive specs at a price point that's remarkably competitive compared to premium brands with similar claims.
And real-world users seem to back this up, right? People report noticeably fresher air, less dust settling on surfaces.
Yeah, and good performance against cooking and pet smells. And, for all that power, the noise seems to be manageable, especially on the lower or auto settings.
Of course, you have to expect some noise on the highest setting.
It's physics. You can't move that much air silently. But it sounds like it's not offensively loud at its baseline.
Okay, this is where we have to transition, because those strengths make it a very tempting option. But air science demands we look at the verified data, and this is where the vulnerabilities start to show up.
This is where the critical tension is, yes.
So let's start with that colossal claim. 3,500 square feet, that just sounds like marketing bravado. It has to be based on, laboratory fantasy conditions.
These are definitely based on ideal conditions.
Yeah.
An 8-foot ceiling, a perfect square room, 0 furniture.
0 obstructions.
Exactly. In your real home, with high ceilings, walls, couches, that effective coverage area shrinks a lot. It's a best case scenario.
But the single biggest issue, the thing that should make any data-driven person pause, is the CADR data gap.
Yes.
It's AHAM verified, which means it passed some kind of test. But we could not find a publicly published specified CADR number for smoke, dust, and pollen.
And this is the core vulnerability. CADR is the standardized metric that lets us compare apples to apples. Without that specific number, we can't independently verify if this machine can actually clean a large room, as well as a competitor that does publish its numbers.
So I can't look at its performance rating for, say, smoke and compare it to another unit?
You can't. You have no idea what it is.
So if I'm shopping and I see this KNKA unit and a competitor that proudly displays a CAD of 350 with the KNKA, I'm just taking a leap of faith.
That is the exact trade-off. You are sacrificing verifiable performance data for a great price and a strong feature list. And for a lot of people, that's a perfectly fine exchange.
But for the data-driven prosumer,
it's a non-starter.
And that leads right into the other trade-offs. You build a massive budget-conscious machine. Noise and power consumption have to be a concern.
Absolutely. To get those high ACH rates in a big room, you have to run the fan on high.
There's no way around it.
No. And that means significant noise. You're not putting this in your bedroom. And it means higher electricity bills if it's running continuously.
And what about that carbon filter? We praised it earlier, but you mentioned variability. What makes a carbon filter truly effective?
The difference is density and depth. A premium carbon filter is a thick, deep bed of charcoal pellets. It maximizes the time the air is in contact with the carbon.
Okay.
In many budget units, the carbon layer can be very thin, almost like a dusting of carbon on a mesh. Pollutants can just blow right past it without sticking.
So if you're trying to neutralize some really persistent smells, the quality of that carbon layer matters immensely, and it's hard to know what you're getting.
It's another detail that's hard to verify when cost efficiency is the main design driver.
Okay, so what does this all mean for the listener? We've analyzed the design, we've looked at the science, and we've found the big missing data points. The final call really seems to depend on your priorities.
It really does. It's a solid contender, but it's definitely not a universal solution.
So let's break it down. Who is the APH4000 an excellent match for?
Okay, first, the open plan dweller. If your main goal is just maximum coverage for a combined living, dining, kitchen area, the sheer capacity and the dual airflow design are huge benefits.
Right.
Second, the pet-loving household or the urban allergy sufferer. That three-stage stack offers a really comprehensive defense against dander, pollen, and general pollution. It's very valuable.
And crucially, the budget-conscious buyer. If you need those big room specs and you're willing to accept the uncertainty of the missing seed ADR data to save, potentially hundreds of dollars, this is a very compelling choice.
A very compelling choice. But there are several profiles who should definitely consider alternatives.
Okay.
It's a total mismatch for the data-driven prosumer. If you need verifiable CADR data to compare and justify your purchase, the lack of a published number means you just have to look elsewhere.
It's also probably a poor fit for the noise-sensitive user, right? If you need something super quiet for a bedroom or a home office, this thing on high is going to be too loud.
Way too loud. You'd want a smaller, specialized bedroom unit for that.
And what about the smart home enthusiast?
They'll be disappointed. It covers the basics, but it doesn't have app control, advanced sensor automations, or things like UV sterilization that you find in more premium brands. It doesn't integrate.
And one last reminder, even with that 3,500 square foot rating, a single unit is not going to cover a whole multi-floor house.
Not effectively, no. You'd still need multiple units.
So the synthesis is clear. The KNKA APH4000 delivers robust features and these huge coverage claims at a really competitive price. But that purchase requires a certain level of trust because you're missing that critical piece of the puzzle, the public CADR data.
And the final decision really hinges on a classic dilemma. Do you value a feature-rich, high-capacity claim and affordability more? Or is your absolute priority hard, independently verifiable performance metrics?
Because you rarely get both at this price point.
Almost never.
And that leads us to our final thought.
If air quality science relies on quantifiable metrics like CADR and ACH to determine real-world effectiveness, not just theoretical potential, then how much trust should we, as consumers, place in any large room appliance claim that doesn't publicly share those underlying numbers?
Yeah.
It really makes you think about that tension between marketing claims and scientific verification and how that tension shapes every single purchase we make for our homes.